Okay, so no doubt you realize, or at least you're catching on that we are in a civil war, and we have been in a civil war for a really, really long time. It's just, it's not one of those things where you happen to notice overnight. It takes a long period of time with a string of multiple events. The tension in the country politically, spiritually, it's never been higher. Their motives are pretty blatant. They want us dead. It's not left versus right. It's good versus evil. They may be allies right now, like the libertarians and the so-called freedom lovers and stuff like that that aren't believers. All they are is just a scaled back version of what they see as the enemy. They are the stepping stones that lead to that. They just don't know that, you know. One of the big catalysts for what's going on right now was the Charlie Kirk shooting, the assassination that took him out, and all the conspiracy theories and everything else, and all of the chaos that ensued afterwards. With Charlie Kirk getting killed, the Irina Zarutska thing happening right before it. It's wild too, because the day that Charlie got assassinated, he was making content talking about her and putting up tributes and whatnot and calling it out, which I have mad respect for. However, the point that I wanted to make is this: what we're looking at right here on the screen was intended to be that moment. Trump was supposed to get killed that day. And I do not believe that it was faked or any of that stuff. I believe that they were really trying to have him assassinated, and that was supposed to be the jumping point for the Civil War right there. They thought that this would just drive everybody into chaos, which it would have. Charlie being the one that got assassinated, he's not a big figure like Trump. However, he's a different type of sacrificial lamb for their cause, their narrative, or whatever it is that they want to kick off, their war. But it woke everybody up in a different way. Because Trump is brash, arrogant. He's a very disagreeable person. I get it. I'm a very disagreeable person. A lot of people are disagreeable people. Doesn't mean that they're bad or their intentions are bad or whatever. But let's just be honest. Trump is a jerk. A funny jerk, but a jerk nonetheless. Charlie Kirk was a polite, kind person with a good heart that would rather talk his way out of a situation than throw fists. He was a good Christian man with good morals. He was the embodiment of innocence, so to speak, to the average person, to the average American, to the average Christian. Him getting killed brutally the way he did was like a spiritual gash wound throughout the entire world. When they saw evil reveal its face that day, it did something. And it released demons too. Look at how everybody started reacting. And it was just mind-boggling to normal people. Like, how could people rejoice and just relish in the death of somebody? And I don't even get that on our side when I see people do that. I don't understand how people could have gone this cold. I know the word says that. And hearts are growing colder. You see it, I see it. I think anybody that has a relationship with Messiah knows this. I don't even think you have to be a believer to recognize it. That's why you got atheists and stuff like Richard Dawkins coming out saying he made a mistake. He knows that Christian culture and Western society is what holds this entire world together. Without it, it's chaos, and it's a very dark, dark world. And everybody's going to come out to find that, especially those that wish the downfall of it. All these commies, all these people that are anti-white, like all the minorities, like for instance, me, I'm from Los Angeles. I'm part Mexican. A lot of people that I grew up with and that I could relate to in that area, flying all those Mexican flags and everything, and that have gotten brainwashed by communism. Because I've seen it since the early 2000s. All the Marxism that was being taught, they were pushing it on the street people and stuff, like graffiti crews and gangs and whatnot, and all the community colleges. And I remember some homies getting involved in all of that stuff, and I was like, dude, you're going the wrong route. I even knew back then when I was in the streets, man, that communism was stupid, dude. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh man, what was it? I was getting around to a really good point, but it's gotten really, really out of hand. The internet it was the secret sauce that drove everybody mad. That Trump assassination attempt, and look at how we haven't heard nothing about the killer, really, or the shooter. Look at you want to talk about conspiracies and everything. Everybody wants to get on the Epstein stuff and all this other wild stuff, this Candace stuff and everything, but you're looking at a real conspiracy regarding the shooter of Trump. And it's like nobody ever wants to talk about that one. What's going on with that? We don't know nothing about that dude or anything, and all the circumstances, surrounding it. Come on, truthers. You guys are disappointing me, man. You got to put your Sherlock Holmes little funny hat on and get out your little, your magnifying glass and your little pipe, dude. Get the sleuthing. You guys are slacking. You guys are chasing around nonsense around in rabbit holes that don't have an ending. But with everything going on right now in Minnesota and them getting caught lying once again with that weirdo that got shot, and I'm not trying to make light of it or anything or celebrate his death. It sucks. But the guy was a garbage human being. And with that new video out of him spitting on him and stirring up trouble, and his record of being an agitator, and it's crazy how hard the media was lying for this fool, like they do every single time, and the left too. And it's like, dude, like if I was on the left and I believe that way, I would have left them a long time ago. Because they get caught lying all the freaking time, and the stuff that they're told to believe is just absolute stupidity. I would like if I was like one of them, I would have been like, dude, I would start questioning stuff. I'd be like, dude, what the heck, dude? They got caught lying. Why isn't this being talked about more? We should be going after this fool. But no, they don't operate like that. It's crazy.
All of this pearl clutching and crying and dissecting and analyzing what the ICE agents were doing, you guys aren't there. Sorry, you're not there. You're not down there. You're not dealing with what these people are dealing with every single day, where their lives are in danger, and they are doing this because they want to protect your country, while you sit behind a keyboard and you pick apart every action they do. No. We're not doing that. Those are the enemies, right? Those guys are here raping, murdering, stealing, thieving, correct? Those are your enemies. And then you go, yeah, but these people weren't. No, right, but they're working for them. Are they helping them? Are there people who are helping your enemies? Are there people who are getting in between you and your enemies so that you cannot deal with your enemies fairly? Guess what? They're part of the enemy category. Understand?
Preach on, sister.
If you feel like, oh, there's something on our side that needs to change, you take that privately. You don't blast that out so everybody sees the fracture points on our side. This is ultimately why people on the right, conservatives, always end up getting killed in a Bolshevik revolution, because they have no idea what they're up against. They think they're still in this like civil discourse. Remember when suddenly protesting your government was sedition? Remember how they changed the meaning of words and they threw out the Constitution and they're having illegals vote in your elections and they're literally not respecting your elections because they invented votes where they didn't exist? Remember when Tina Peters was arrested for daring to report fraud in her county in Colorado? Remember that? No. So you're acting like all of a sudden...
See? They use your own system against you, your own morals, your own way. They'll use your own guilt against you. They'll use your own empathy, your sympathy, everything. It doesn't matter. They're devious. They're liars. They're nothing but a bunch of vipers, a bunch of snakes. They will use any tactics to destroy you, to gain power. You got to understand how communists work. All you have to do is pick up a history book while you still can. Because they're trying to take control of all that and make everything digital. That way they can control the flow of information. Yeah, we got the internet now. Everything at your fingertips. All the history and all the knowledge of ever since existence. Well, almost at your fingertips. Yeah, for how long? Look how everybody's getting dumbed down. And just think about when the power's gone. And everything's off. Every bunch of dumb people that don't know what they're doing.
Civil liberties have been thrown out. When we've literally been living in a post-constitutional America, and all of a sudden you're waking up to it, we're fighting back against it, and now you want to cry about the way we should be playing fair. You don't play fair with people who want to kill you. That's it. And you guys need to understand that they want to kill you. Let's go take a look at what exactly occurred.
You heard what some of the folks said in there, that this is, they shouldn't be there and, they shouldn't be uncomfortable and this is our house and whatever. That's what protesting is about, is to make people uncomfortable. You may not like it, but, if they went into a church, any church, you heard.
So Don Lemon took his squad of Bolshevik revolutionaries and actually violated constitutionally protected rights for you to worship without interference. That's correct. It is called the Church Protection Act, which prohibits groups of people banding together with the intention of violating citizens' constitutional rights. That's correct. It's called the FACE Act 18 USC Code 248. This I didn't see Don Lemon going to a mosque. Probably because those people wouldn't be legal, but maybe they were. Maybe they would. I didn't see him going to a mosque. And why not? Why?
Scrolling and patrolling. Let's see what weird stuff we got here.
Hey there. Do you mind if I sit next to you? Great. I guess I haven't properly introduced myself. My name's Bug. What's yours? Sarah. There's nothing wrong with it, I just don't sit with normies most of the time. Well, let's just see if we have some things in common. Do you listen to Cave Town? You don't? Maybe you watch Dream? No. What do? You do makeup? That's so cool, me too. I could put some blush on you if you'd like. You're already wearing blush. Not enough. Well, it's been nice sitting with you. Maybe you can sit with me and Slug at lunch. Before you go, I didn't get your pronouns. Oh, she, her? Okay. Well, I am he, him, they, air, bark, frog, self, and fan. Alright. Catch you on the flip, Sarah.
It's crazy that they never walk back any of their lies that they tell in the media. They went so hard on trying to paint this guy as the, what does he say right here? The real sweet nurse. Yeah, dude, like he's some kind of humanitarian. He had his little doctor's bag. He was healing a lady on the side of the road. The Good Samaritan. Turns out he's just a big scumbag.
Right now! Because I'm yelling? Yes. Give me my fucking sweater back. Ma'am, please. They're mine! I bought them! Ma'am, send police. They're mine! Send the police.
They're mine! What a rush!
No, you didn't! You said no.
Anna, looks to be a male black suspect. Just crashed.
Jump in! He just jumped into the river. He jumped head first into the river. Can you swim? He can't swim, dispatch. Grab that. Grab it. Grab my glass. Hey, grab it. Behind you. Behind you. Grab it. Are you just boom? Yeah, I'm good. Boom, put me on the phone right here.
Jordan. Go ahead, we're pulling him in.
Kelsey, you want to move for me, sir? Here you go, bud. Hold on. I want to see it. Angelo, you got to come around us. Around that pipe.
I can see. Hey, well, Matt, hands are clear. This is going to come to you, the green one.
Give it around. She's closer.
Imagine going through all that trouble. Get away, jump out your vehicle, take off, run, jump in the river, only to be like, oh shoot, I can't swim, and get caught anyways. You're just thinking about getting away at that moment. But still, bro, if you know you don't know how to swim, dude.
Brain scans reveal men's pleasure and revenge. I love how that you could tell a feminist wrote this, right? But that's not really what the experiment says. So they did like a game, and they repeated play a game, and later they hooked the participants up and like to have their like an MRI machine to have their brain scanned. And when they would penalize people who played fairly, both men and women showed empathy. The empathy receptors in the brain went off. When they did somebody who cheated, men didn't really have that much empathy for those being like, oh, they were shocked with electrical impulses. They didn't have any, like a ton of empathy for that. They almost had a little pleasure in the fact that they were getting punished. But women, their empathy response almost didn't change. They were as empathetic for the people who played fairly being punished as they were for the people that cheated being punished. And that's kind of what we're seeing broadly. Like, what I really want to focus on that I don't see a ton of people talking about is that women are the people that are fueling this entire thing. And I have people saying to me that, you know, it is 100% like the, you know, these big funders and the backers and the NGOs and all these like globalist world order people throwing money. That's fine. They can throw as much money as they want into it. But if you don't have these crazy women on TikTok, literally like crying and being insane and calling for, you know, like this nurse we're going to talk about later, calling for people to be like ICE agents to be injected with things. We saw it in a different case earlier in the year where a healthcare worker said she was going to not take care of MAGA people. I mean, if you don't have these women doing this, there is no fuel. Women are 100% the gasoline thrown on the fire to keep this going.
Did you see what MSNBC did to his image?
Yeah. Where they gussied
Basically
it up?
did the opposite of what CNN did to me. You know, CNN during the COVID times turned me green, and they made me ugly and look like I was dying, and they made him handsome.
Yeah.
So people would be more sympathetic to him getting shot, which is kind of wild. Like, are ugly people less valuable to MSNBC?
Less marketable.
That is crazy to me. Like, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. They shortened up his face. They gave him a little bit of a tan. They widened his face a little bit, it seems like. They just made him a little handsomer.
Yeah,
A little hotter.
They gave him a bit of that Chad jaw, didn't they?
They shrunk his nose a little too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They shrunk his nose,
Yeah.
gave him a little bit of a handsome jaw. So he looks like an
Even
American.
made him. If you look at the shoulders, it even looks like they may have plumped up the shoulders there a bit.
a little bit. Yeah, the one on the right looks like he's a little plumper. Yeah. They changed the tone of the color. Wild. I mean, they changed his fucking teeth, man.
Communist News
Look,
Network.
they gave him veneers.
Yeah.
Look at the difference in his teeth. He's a much more handsome guy. Like that one on the right is like the handsome brother, and the one on the left is like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why couldn't I look like
Yeah,
my
the one on
goddamn
the right.
brother?
Yeah, the one on the right. They were twins, and he took more of the protein.
Right.
That was what happened.
Like that old movie Twins with Arnold and Danny DeVito. And you could tell that Joe is just really, really love digging in on this one, man. He was like, yeah, these fools got me. They try to make me look like the gray Hulk. It looked like some old baloney that was found in the bottom of the crisper in the refrigerator that's been sitting there for like 6 months.
Hi everyone, Molly here. I don't spend a lot of time doing this, talking to you like this, unless I'm, I don't know, recommending a foundation or telling you to get your kids vaccinated against meningitis. But I feel like I can't stay silent, and neither should you. There's something horrible going on in our country right now. And we have one of the greatest countries in the world. And I've always been so proud to be an American. But right now, this is a fascist government. It's not becoming a fascist government. It is a fascist government. And ICE is brutalizing people. And I don't care how you identify, if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican.
It's wild, man, that these rich people that are so out of touch with reality, who just are in their own bubble, who only get their information from within their circles or what their algorithms are on their feeds and what their handlers or their assistants, their interns or whatever, whoever's their lackeys, they're so insulated, so spoiled. They have no clue what you or I or any of the average person goes through day to day. Living from check to check, trying to make ends meet, trying to pay your mortgage or your rent, trying to pay your bills. These people have no ideas. They have no idea. Look at her eyes. You can tell that she's all whipped up on some kind of psych meds, cocktail of psych meds and whatever other recreational drugs she probably takes. And she probably really believes whatever it is, this nonsense that she's saying. Logically come to that conclusion that you're in a fascist country and all this other stuff that you're going on about. If that was so, you wouldn't be on here talking about it right now. You would be in the gulag somewhere. Kind of like what you want to do to us when you totally take control and power.
If you're independent, if you don't like to be political at all, it doesn't matter. You have to look at what kind of country you want to live in. And I don't think that I need to remind you, I'll just give a little history lesson here quick. But, if you look at what happened in France, where I lived for a few years in my 20s, they were taken over by the Nazis. They were invaded, they were taking over, and a lot of people collaborated. And then there were people that did not collaborate and were part of the resistance. Eventually, they got their country back. And those people who collaborated were found to be criminal. And that is what's going to happen. I mean, you should not support what is going on just because these are human beings and we are human beings and we cannot forget our humanity. And they are monsters. They are human beings as well, but they have forgotten that they're human beings and they have become monsters. Please don't let yourself become like that. Please remember your humanity. Think about your kids.
What's wild is the people that she is supposedly protecting and thinking that they're innocent and they're being rounded up and this and that don't give two craps about her at all. They would burn her at the stake just because of the color of her skin on that, just on the strength of that. She really has no idea about the world she lives in and the reality of it. All you have to do is just pay attention. You don't have to be a genius. I'm not. I'm far from it, man. I just notice things. That's it. All kinds of stuff. They would be all up in her mansion, ransacking it and calling her names and calling her an oppressor and everything else, man. And only at that point will she realize what a mistake she has made.
Think about your grandkids. Think about your sister and your brother. These are all people who have kids or fathers or mothers or aunts and uncles and people who love them. And we all have people that love us and we love people. I mean, I hope that we love people. I certainly do. Please do the right thing and stand up and use your voice.
He looks like a vampire. Dude, that fool looks like he does not want to be there. He looks so uncomfortable right now. Looks like he's stewing on something. Elon looks like a freaking dork, dude. What a goofball. Yeah, I don't trust those transhumanists, man. It's done a lot of good things, man, but don't trust them for 1 second.
For a long time, she's just dumb. I said this after I met her. I remember after I did my interview with her, I went back to my group chat and I said, guys, she's just dumb. She doesn't know what she's doing. There isn't some master plan. She's just an idiot. And I remember I would have this conversation with other people that know her, and they would say, she's really smart. And I said, no, she's really not. I've been saying it. I've been saying it for a year. She's just not smart. And then you get this compilation where she doesn't know how to pronounce legitimize, compartmentalize, architecture, kerfuffle, green beret, like macabre. These are the words she doesn't know how to pronounce. And I get some of them maybe like blitzkrieg because it's not English. She's saying legitimatize. They're trying to delegitimize. They're trying to legitimatize. And then you realize she's just a dummy. Legitimatize, compartmentalize. The problem is you're not compartmentalizing and legitimatizing. Holy architecture, she says. Architecture. That's an easy one. Sound it out. Come on. I've been saying it for a long time. I said it a couple of years ago. I said she don't know how to pronounce stuff. She doesn't know anything about history. She doesn't know how to pronounce anything. And that just shows you have a low IQ. If you're a 35-year-old woman and you don't know how to pronounce legitimize, that's an IQ problem, you know. If you're like 13, okay. But these are like a handful of, you know, $5 words. Is that even a $5 word? These are a handful of pretty basic words that if you're a grown-ass adult, you should have heard them before. It's not like you're saying escape, which I hate, but that's just like seems like a verbal tick. You're saying compartmentalize? It's compartmentalize because it's a compartment. So if you're compartmentalizing something, you're segregating it. You're putting it in a compartment. So to say compartmentalize, once again, it's like that tells you how dumb she is. She don't even know what the word is.